All right, good people. So we need to talk. 23 is back. I know it seemed like I've been gone for a minute, just life. Life happening, good, bad, or indifferent. Just shit happening. So joining me tonight, we've been trying to get this thing together for a minute now. You know, uh miscommunication and time, different shit happened, but
Oh yeah.
we got to it. So joining me tonight is Kendall Smash from Bet the House podcast. How you doing this evening, sir?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Everything is everything. Glad to be back on this show. Let's make it happen.
Like I said, we discuss, we talk offline. Not everybody needs to know what the hell is going on. But
Facts.
we talked offline, said we were gonna set this thing up. And I didn't definitely didn't want you to think I was just talking shit just to be talking shit.
Oh,
So
I already know. I already know, man. You're a busy man. I'm super busy now, but um life be life, and man. So you got to take advantage of it while you got it.
and So I'd say let's jump right into the start here. So for the people that may not have heard of you or heard your podcast or even seen some of the older episodes that you were on with us, just give the people brief introduction of yourself and what your podcast is about.
Man, Big Smash, Bet the House podcast. Um, I like to think like we are very multifaceted. Um, we can discuss anything and everything. We are actually moving towards 300 episodes. So with those 300 episodes, you get a mixed bag. You get uh relationships, you get music, you get sports, you get culture. My last few episodes have been like storytelling episodes. I've
Mhm.
been dibbling and dabbling into the storytelling mode now. So you just get a real genuine look at podcasting. Like it's really, you know, someone who really likes to speak his mind. Now, whether he's right or wrong, it's debatable. But you get somebody that's gonna speak his mind regardless. So that's basically what my show is about. We just like to have fun. We give y'all a twist of things from our perspectives.
All right. So, I mean, I know you on the podcast side, and I know you behind the scenes. What
Mm.
do you think is the biggest misconception that people have of you? Not that it really matters, but
Um, I think the biggest misconception is that I'm an asshole, and I might be that some of the time, but I think all around, like I'm a really, really genuine, kind-hearted person. Like I will give you my last if I had it. I'm always down, and the main thing, for me personally, the biggest thing for me that I just want to see everybody win. And sometimes that message comes off a little bit wrong at times, but uh I've always been one of those guys that just want to see everybody around me do good at what they do good at. So I think that's the beauty of it. And we're living in a world right now where a lot of people don't get credit for what they do. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? You're one of those guys, you don't get a lot of credit for what you do. And that is what really uh moves me towards people like us. We don't really get a lot of credit for what we do, but sometimes we give ourselves credit. And I
Yeah,
think that's the misconception of why I'm an asshole, because I toot my own horn a lot. And it ain't because I'm trying to kick others down. It's just, man, you don't know what I had to do to get to where I'm at now. Like I had to work for this. So excuse me for, celebrate me, because that's important. You don't know my struggles and my triumphs that I had to go through to get to where I am. So that's the biggest one for me.
and I'll say, it's the crazy thing about the credit part is it it'll come, and when it comes from the right people. Because I think if we get too much credit like up front and it's just from
Facts.
everybody,
Facts.
you know, a lot of times it's not genuine. So I mean,
Yep.
you know, I'll get DMs and things like that talking about how
Oh
people
yeah.
show stuff, and I'm cool with the DMs. You know, the fact that you recognize, you know, what I'm doing is great for me. But I feel that if you're gonna celebrate me behind the scenes, why not celebrate me, you know, out in the public,
Facts.
so that people, you know, so that people can see it and tap into, you know, what you're listening to. Because if you like it and you're listening to it, there might be somebody else out there that follows you that may not
Yep.
follow me that would like the show and, you know, might want to tap in and see what the hell is going on. And excuse me, and I know I told you this behind the scenes, but I could do this on camera now because you're on the show and in front of me. Like when I did my Christmas drive, like I said, people think you're an asshole. Now you were one of the first people to give to my Christmas drive.
Facts.
I definitely appreciate that. And I always tell people I don't do, you know, the Christmas drive thing necessarily for attention. It's once
Yeah.
I put the notice out there, the people that need to see it gonna see it. And like I said, you saw it, you jumped right on it. You were definitely one of the first people to donate to it. And, you know, the kids, you know, if you saw the pictures, you know,
Oh
all
yeah.
appreciated it.
You
Every
know
dollar
what?
came in.
I remember being a kid that didn't get nothing for Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, I remember those days. So anytime I see a fellow podcast out here doing something like that, I even if it's $5, I'm gonna do what I have to do because I remember those days where we couldn't get nothing for Christmas. And it wasn't because we didn't earn it. It's just, times was hard. My mom's was a single mother raising 4 kids.
Mhm.
So I remember those days. So I love things like that, man, especially if you can give, because I feel like that's how you get your blessings back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gotta be rich to do something to change the community. Just something as small as buying $5 toys. I mean, it's something. It may not be the extravagant things that the world make it seem like you gotta have, but I'm gonna tell you, I would love to get a $5 toy as a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I love kids. So seeing that just made me want to get.
Nah, and it definitely did. Like I said, those people take. I think we, as the adults and as the parents, sometimes we overthink it. We think, oh, we got to get these big, extravagant toys for the
Yep.
kids and shit. And a lot of times, it's not about that. Like I said, we go to five and below, you
Yeah.
know, Dollar Tree, whatever the case is. You
Oh yeah.
pick up whatever you could pick up and give that child. And even if it's not your child, you know, some kid in the community in the neighborhood somewhere that might be, like I said, may not be
Yep.
happy Christmas for various reasons. You know, money is tight with mom at home. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so you know, just any little thing give. But I definitely want to, you know, like I said, give you your kudos and tell you thank you in the public. You
No
know,
problem,
for
man.
reaching out and joining the giving during the holiday season. So you know, first off, let's jump right into. I'm kind of torn where I want to start, but I definitely start with this, and it's low hanging fruit. And for anybody that follows me, know I hate the low hanging fruit conversations, but I think this is a. I would be I would be a terrible podcaster if I walked past this. So when you first heard the John Morant name in the news and everything, what was your initial take on it?
You know what? I thought, okay, so when all this started happening, like even not even the gun incident, but all the other incidents that we're hearing, the 17-year-old boy, the demeanor. At first, when Ja Morant first started doing all this, it started reminding me of Allen Iverson. I
Mm-hmm.
remember how Allen Iverson was and how, he came and changed the culture. So I started to feel like, okay, he's trying to be like AI, change the culture. You know, basically, I always felt like the goal is to get out the hood, not make it get out the hood and then still try to be in the hood. Ja
Mm-hmm.
Morant, everybody was trying to say, oh, he's young. Okay, some of the stuff you can say, yeah, he's young. But then I look at it as he's a guy whose father is still active. His father is still around. As a father, if I'm watching my son self-destruct
Mm-hmm.
in the public eye, even after the situation with Shannon Sharp, as I'm watching this, my son is the money.
Mm-hmm.
You have to reel him in and tell him, like, yo, we could lose all this. You could lose all of this. Like, as I'm a self-respecting father. My kid, I don't care how much money he has. You're not going to act like this and mess up all our hard work. Like, again, we don't know what they had to go through to put him in this position that he's in. All
Mm-hmm.
the sacrifice and all the training, all the practice, all this stuff that's going on. So the first thing that came to my mind was, you are his father. Reel him in.
Yeah.
But I look at it, his father is encouraging the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Shannon Sharp blow up, his father was in the middle of it. And I was just like, yeah, y'all. I made a post yesterday. I said, Ja Morant is the perfect example of how to get money and how to blow it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he's doing. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? You are a freaking millionaire. You're a role model. You're this, you're that. You got a whole community looking after you. And it's just like, this is what you do. You're a freaking millionaire. You
Mm-hmm.
got money, dog. Like, somebody in your camp should be reeling you in. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And instead, they're enabling it. Like, my whole thing has been about, they say, oh, well, he got a gun because he need protection. You hire bodyguards.
Yeah.
That's You hire bodyguards. Like, you got all this endorsements, you got all these eyes on you. This is not the way to go. And I can't tell a person with money on how to do with their money.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you got to look at it like, this is a black eye on the family. Like, this is a black eye on the team. And this is why the team sent him away. He's the best player on the team. And
Mm-hmm.
the team said, nah, we got to send you away. And they are in the middle of a playoff race.
Yeah.
Like, you're hurting your team now. Like, this is where they need you the most. Like, we without our best player, we in the middle of the playoffs. We trying to get a good position. It ain't just you. And then the one thing that really bothered me is Nike.
Mm-hmm.
Nike got rid of Kyrie for sharing a book or a movie or whatever it was. They got rid of him. This man, Ja Morant, is on Instagram flashing guns, shooting, beating up teenagers, and Nike say, "Oh, we accept we know he needs help. He's getting his help. We are not gonna discontinue our partnership at this time." And I'm just sitting there like, yo, this is just wrong all the way around.
And I think the crazy thing too is right before we were coming on, I posted on, it might have been D.L. Hughley's page. I said the crazy thing with that is, I said they expect it from what Nike is doing. If you pay attention to everything with the Kyrie situation and the Ja Morant situation, the setup there, they're going to back Ja Morant. I think my personal opinion is they expect that out of us. They say we tote guns, we do all of this nonsense. But then for us to think, and although what Kyrie may have said or may not have said, whatever the entire situation is that we do not know with Kyrie, we can do all the ignorant stuff, but then when we speak our
Mm-hmm.
mind on something else, they don't want that side of us.
Yeah.
The
They
ignorant
want to
side,
see us ignorant.
yeah, they want the flashing the guns and all of that. So you back that, and like I said, I'm not saying what Kyrie did not say is correct, but if you wanted to, you could have discontinued, or suspended his shoe line for a couple of months or whatever the case was, and then picked him back up. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's what the self-destruction, and then with Ja Morant being so young and having the following and things that he does, like he's no way in hell ever going to cut ties with him, because they're, at the end of the day, it's a business, and that's all they're focused on. Like, well, if we cut ties with him, how many kids or sales are we going to lose with getting rid of him? And my next thing too is, and let me know what you think about this. The crazy thing is, and when people hear this episode, please listen to it in its entirety and do not listen to one part and just try and run with that one part that you want to do whatever with. But the crazy thing is, with, if you look at Michael Vick and the Ja Morant situation, the crazy thing is, I don't know, like you said, who's around Ja Morant. But in my eyes, if he's the one making all of the money, there should be somebody there to protect him from himself.
Facts.
If you're going to have a group of guys around you, or whatever the case is, not everybody around you has a criminal record. You let somebody else carry the gun, pay for them to go through the class to become a registered gun owner, to carry for you. But instead, I think with this generation, and even with the Michael Vick situation, Michael Vick's situation is different from this standpoint. With the Ja Morant thing, it seems like it's you got to show me that you really down. You got to show me that you about that life. What I thought, if one of my people make it, it's our job as his real, whatever the case is, to protect him. And like I said, whether you want to be a leech or not, if you're just hanging on because of his money, then you need to be there to protect him so that he can make as much money as he can. And then at that time when the money slow down or run out, because now, depending on how long they suspend him for or sit him down for, right now he's still getting paid. But if the NBA does their investigation and they find something they don't like, and now he's unpaid, what are the enablers going to do then?
Listen, I'm from Chicago, so there was a guy, a rapper that went by the name of King Von, and he was really on the come up, and he went down to Atlanta, got into an altercation with a guy that he had been beefing with, and he came there with his fist. He was ready to fist fight, and one of the guy he was fighting against, homie, had a gun. Shot King Von, shot two other people, killed King Von. Just like that. Your life is over in a matter of seconds. Now, what's crazy is all of King Von's homies that were out there while the gunshots was going off, they took flight. Nobody stopped him and said, yo, we not here for that. We not here to fight. Pull him off to the side, get him out of there. You are the bad. Get him out of there. Like, nobody had the audacity to do it. Instead, they were encouraging this. There he go over there. He right there. Go get him. Blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. Nobody took the mind frame and said, hey, he the money. Get him out of here. Get him away. You know what I'm saying? We can't afford this right now. So it's like, you got to think about it like this. When toxic energy is in the air, it doesn't care who it gets. I felt like it could not have been me. I could not have been there and watching him get ready to lose his life. Yo, get him, pull him, let's go. Why are we doing this? Like, too much on the line, too much money on the line, too much time on the line. Yo, you got kids. You got kids that are your children is seeing you act a fool like this. And then what are you going to say to them? Well, I can't get y'all them new shoes and them new clothes because I got suspended. I got fired. I can't make no money right now. Kids don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. So it's like, at the end of the day, you feel like it's all about your supporting cast. Yes, he's a grown man. True enough. Grown. He makes his own decisions. But I keep people around me that I trust. That if I screw up, I know they're going to steer me wrong. I have this saying that if I can't tell you when you're doing wrong, are we really cool? Are we really friends? If you want me to only be around to tell you when you right and nothing else, then you want a yes man. That's not how it works in life. Like, I believe that friends gonna correct you whether you right or wrong. And a real true friend, associate, support system, whatever you want to call it, is gonna put you in your place when you wrong. Because I would do the same thing if it was me. If it was my friend wilding out like this, yo, you got all this money, you got the life, you got everything you could ask for. You're not in the hood no more. You got to let that mentality go. Like, this is the day and age where any little thing that we do, they gonna crush us. Whatever they can make us, however bad they can make us look. Look, you can hear the same story on the news 3 different times, but you ain't gonna never hear that same story told the same way on each channel.
Nope.
You can watch 3 different channels, the same exact story. 3 different channels, you're gonna get 3 different stories, 3 different point of views, but it's the same story. So this is what it is. They're gonna paint us, like you said about Kyrie. Kyrie got sense. They don't want that. They don't want that. Kanye had sense to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like you're letting all these voices go. Like Kanye, to me, Kanye is a genius in some ways. Like if you watch this documentary, genius. But now it's like when he's speaking his mind, oh, he's crazy. Kanye's crazy. Kanye's losing it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They always say you losing it when you're speaking your truth. So the whole Ja Morant thing, I hope this is a wake-up call for him.
Yeah.
Because the stories that I'm hearing, oh, he had a gun on a plane. And you know that's a straight violation from the Gilbert Arenas situation. Like,
yeah,
why do you have a gun on the plane, dog? Like, what is the point? So now I'm hearing all kind of stories. He looking at 50 games because when Gilbert Arenas brought a gun in the locker room, that's how many games they gave him. So if the NBA actually, like you said, they find out that he actually did bring a gun on the plane, that's a violation of your contract, sir. Like, the one thing about the NBA, they care to a certain extent. See, the NBA, but it's kind of weird to me though, because they pick and choose what they want. Like the whole Karl Malone situation.
Yeah.
I get it. The All-Star game was in Utah. Karl Malone was big in Utah, but don't y'all understand the backstory behind Karl Malone right now? Like, so they pick and choose, and if it makes money for them, like all businesses, if it makes us money, we're gonna do it. Even if it's morally wrong, we're gonna do it. Karl Malone should not have had nothing to do with none of that stuff, and that's just his documented history, in my opinion. Like, y'all NBA talk about being family and all this, but then it's like, and you know what's crazy? It ain't just Ja Morant. It's the whole Grizzly team. Like, for some reason, they are really acting like they are the bad boys. The Detroit Pistons from the 90s and all that. Like, these dudes have adopted that mentality that we thugs, we gangsters, and they don't understand. Oh, y'all get paid billions of dollars to shoot a basketball. Like, y'all have this. It's 32 teams in the NBA. It's 15 teams on one player. That's like 600 players, give or take. Y'all are 600 players out of millions who would love to get this opportunity. Like, somebody, I remember Jadakiss saying it. Jadakiss said that it's a dude up north that's probably better than Jordan, that he never got his break. You know what I'm saying? So you have an opportunity right now. You are a millionaire. You don't have to struggle or worry for nothing. Your kids, your family, everybody is dependent on you. So somebody should be in your head telling you, hey, yo, get this together quick.
And then for all of the people in Memphis and even this generation, if they want to see how it could turn out, and it doesn't have to turn out with, Lord willing, with Ja Morant dying or anything. All I got to do is look back at what happened to Zach Randolph.
Yep.
He got caught up in some shit in Memphis. You want to, and when you hear this episode, just look up Zach Randolph and the shit that he went through for
Yep.
a similar situation. May not have been guns, but I believe it was gangs and drugs and all this other
Yep.
shit. Man, and like you said, the crazy thing is nowadays everybody wants to prove that, they the man, I'm about that life and all that shit.
Yep.
Later for all that shit, the jail's full of people that's about that life.
Facts. And you
Let
know what?
them have that.
It's some gangsters out there that's gonna see Ja Morant and they gonna test them.
100%.
Waiting to test him, like waiting to make an example, waiting to snatch his chain, snatch whatever, like just to say, yo, we really in these streets. Like you, because a lot of people, a lot of these gangsters don't really like when people, you know what I'm saying? We gotta test you.
Mm-hmm.
We have to test you. Now you have to really show us that this is your life because it's a lot of rappers, and I know this from just everything. It's a lot of rappers out here portraying gangster lives.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you go to these other cities, when you go to these other places, it's not like, okay, we hear the stuff that you doing, we see the stuff that you saying, all right, show us that it's real. So now when you find yourself getting pressed, because all it's gonna take is for one gangster, one thug dude, you know what I'm saying? Look at PNB Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Like that situation was sad in itself because again, like everybody hears the music and they hear the life and they see the lifestyle. And it's like when you come back to the hood and you flashing millions and millions of dollars of jewels and all this, you think everybody in the hood is gonna love you? No, it's gonna be somebody that felt like you shouldn't be there. That's my spot. So I looked at the PNB Rock situation. The guy that did it was like 17.
Mm-hmm.
He spotted PNB Rock, called his daddy. His daddy pulled like these are situations that I'm like, your son called you. It's not like you called your son. Your son called you and said, "Hey, I got a lick." And here you go again. These fathers out here are enabling this stuff. Like it's a rapper in Florida. Him and his father did a hit together.
Yeah. Shit, I can't remember. I know who you're talking about.
His father
Queso.
turned witness on him.
Yeah, I think it's Queso.
Yeah.
If I'm not
I'm,
mistaken.
I'm like, wow, I couldn't believe it. Like normally you hear the son, but you hear the father. And then the father excuse was, I could do more for my son outside of jail than inside. Huh? You should have been doing that when y'all was out here doing the shit that y'all was yeah, man. Listen, I'm sorry. I could not be a father out there committing crimes with my son. Like, what are we doing here? Like, no, I'm supposed to be teaching you to have a better life than me. John, now here's my take on it. His daddy is probably like, he's the money. So whatever he say, you know what I'm saying, however he act, I gotta support that because I don't want to get cut off, but you're gonna get cut off anyway if this man is dead or in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Then what?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because now I was listening to ESPN earlier, and they were saying that, now he's being investigated in Denver for the whole gun situation. And it's just
Yep.
like you said, you traveling from city to city. Somebody gonna pull, like you said, somebody gonna pull up on them. And
Yep.
then you got some of the older guys. I don't know how many older guys still in the street, because everything has changed so much. But you
Mm-hmm.
got older guys in the streets, or even some of these young boys. There's a few of them out there. Might be seriously a handful with sense that'll pull up on them and test them, and really tell them like, "Look, you made it. The fuck are you doing?" And you do have dudes out there that would do that and be
Yep.
like, and they'll rob them, rough them up, do whatever they got to do just to show them like this ain't for you. You're not about that life. Just leadership
Cause
to
it
motherfuckers that missed their chance.
it kind of makes me mad. Like again, when you think of the takeoff situation, you guys are millionaires. Why are y'all shooting dice with a bunch of cats that don't have millions of dollars? What? Why? you, you are looking for like I never understood that whole situation either. Like y'all are millionaires shooting dice with a bunch of cats that wish they had millions. You didn't think that situation through, and unfortunately, this is what happens. You know what I'm saying? I've seen guys get into it over $20.
Yeah.
You think guys ain't gonna get into it over 400, 500, 600, $700? You're crazy. I've seen it. $200, $20, $15, hell, $5. We into it. Shit. What? Big Worm shot the block up over $200. Like literally. So I don't know, man. It's something about money that make these dudes just lose their mind, man. Like I ain't never seen it, and it's like I look at it like, dude, you're a role model. It's kids looking up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do better. You know what I'm saying? And you know how when everybody get in trouble, they get that half-ass apology. Well, I'm gonna get help. I'm gonna, I know my actions, blah, blah, blah. Etc. That same script that anybody that's genuine, like, you know what I'm saying? I get it if you genuine, but it just seems like, no, you only feeling this way because you got caught. And believe me, I've been in situations like that where, you feel like the back is against your wall. But you know what? It might just be him being a product of his environment too, though. That might be all he know. You
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying?
it could be because I know I've seen, depending on what you look up online, they said that he grew up in a nice neighborhood, private school, all that other stuff. I don't know how much of it is true and how much isn't. I don't do the gossip shit. So, but then I also seen some people from Memphis talking about he trying to live that Memphis lifestyle. Now I'm sure there's parts of Memphis that's not
Mm-hmm.
all
Mm-hmm.
wild and crazy and shit like, the shit that he's doing. But
Mm.
even still, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all the young
Cause it,
people that may hear this episode, if you hear this episode, parents, you got kids around that's, I say teenage from freshman in high school on up. When you hear this episode, just to let your kids know there's other ways to make it.
yep.
There's a million things in this world to do. Everybody's not cut out to be a gangster.
This is
Everybody's not meant to be a gangster. You do what you do. You good.
yep.
You got a talent for drawing,
Yep.
tattooing, playing basketball, football, whatever the case is. Put your focus in that. Surround
This is the
yourself
era
with
of clout.
people. Exactly. Surround
Every
yourself with people that really give a fuck about you. Everybody,
you
you know
you
what I mean? My circle is small because I just don't trust a whole lot of people. That's my thing. But even still, I need people around me that could tell me like, hey, Ringo, you fucking up. Sit your ass down.
facts.
Something. I might be
Facts.
in my feelings in that moment, but the next day sit down and think about it, like that motherfucker love me. That motherfucker care about me. They have my back to this point, whatever the case is. But like I said, I hope the best for Ja Morant because we got
Facts.
a lot of people out there making excuses. And like the Paul Pierce thing, I heard that come up earlier today after he got stabbed. And
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
get it, but the what Ja Morant seems like he's doing from the information that we're seeing and that we're getting, it's sort of like you're inviting that bullshit to come to you versus you staying out the way. I don't need to be in any club. You worth, like you said, I think they said $250 million. Man, you have a select group of people come to your house. I know people gonna say, what about the Sean Taylor incident when
Mm-hmm.
and shit like that, but you can't. I
Yep.
ain't nothing in these clubs for you. I get it. You 23, cool, but there's better places for you to hang out in and have fun.
Yep. And I think what it is too is a lot of people feel like they can't be touched.
Mm.
They feel like it ain't gonna happen to them. They ain't the last rapper. They ain't the last entertainer. There's probably a lot of people feeling like, oh, I'm not Paul Pierce. That'll never happen to me. And little do you know, your circle can backdoor you at any given time. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good to know who is your circle and who is for you and who has your best interest in heart. You know what I'm saying? These kids, um, they made being corny and being a kid that stays in the house and plays video games or reads or studies or puts computers together. They made all that lame. If
Mm-hmm.
you doing any of that stuff, you're not really in, you're not really hip, you're not part of the in crowd. So a lot of kids stop wanting to do that. They stop wanting to play basketball, play football, because in their mind, in this era, that is considered being a corny ass kid. And it's messed up. My oldest son is 16. And I want to believe that my son is a corny kid. And that's fine. I tell him all the time, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? The corny kids live longer. The
Yep.
corny kids end up being the ones hiring the kids that are chasing clout and doing things like that. So my son stays in the house. He's 16. He plays video games. He reads. He's looking at cars, the kind of cars he wants to get in a couple years. Like these are things that a lot of these kids stop learning how to do. They
Mm-hmm.
stopped having fun. They stopped living life. Like everybody wants to be thug. They want to be a gangster. They want to be, brandishing weapons on the internet has become a big thing. And Ja Morant is like 24, 25 years old. There's no way. That's something that these little 15 and 16-year-old kids are doing. You're a grown man. Like, why are you following the trends instead of setting them?
Mm-hmm. And but like you said, it's all about clout. And I don't know how much more fame or clout he needs. You're in the NBA. You're one of the best players out there, one of the best young players
Yep.
out there.
Yep.
What more do you need? Flashing guns, flashing money, and all of that. Because, like you said, it'll be somebody in your circle. You just or close to your circle. You look at the young Dolph situation. You look at the Nipsey situation, and
Mm-hmm.
it was people that they knew had some sort of interaction with, different shit like that. So, and that's a perfect transition into the second topic for this episode. So, when I DM'd you, I asked you, told you I wanted to talk about the that Hulu documentary or
Yeah.
ABC News, whoever it is, documentary called Rap Trap. And for those that may not have seen the Rap Trap or even heard of it, it's talking about the whole YSL trial and also talking about how sort of like the rap police and
Yeah.
how they feel like they're being targeted. Now, I'm gonna give you my take real quick, and then you give me yours. My take on it is I don't think they're being, especially for this generation. I will say that because, like you said, this ties into the whole Ja Morant thing. With this generation, like you said, they're showing the guns on IG. They're doing all of this wild, stupid shit, showing the drugs, all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they want to talk about we being targeted. No, when you're committing crimes, not every rapper that gets locked up is committing a crime. I understand that. But when you're doing certain stuff, you're showing guns. If you know you're a felon, no reason for you to be up there flashing guns on IG Live. If you about that life, everybody does not need to know that you about that life. It's in the, and I get it. They're saying, oh, well, freedom of speech is being taken away from the rappers. If you go back and, for example, look at Bobby Shmurda when he was doing his shit, some of the songs, some of his lyrics from right before he went to jail, some of the shit that he was rapping about were actual crimes that happened,
Yeah.
and then they get picked up, and then people want to say freedom of speech is being, impeded or trampled on. It's not being trampled on when you're committing
Facts.
crimes, and then
Yep.
you're going out and rapping about it.
Yep.
So if you've seen the Rap Trap or anything, what is your take on the whole?
All right, so I did see the first episode, and I thought like they were how they were breaking down his lyrics, Young Thug's lyrics,
Mhm.
and it was like, yo, you're building the case for them. Like you can't sit here and say they're violating any type of amendment when you're openly, like they were playing his music in the court, like you're openly saying crimes that happen, saying things that actually happen. You made this easy for them.
Mhm.
Um, My thing about all of that is, again, this is a prime example of getting out the hood and still staying there. Like, I felt like, and then they were interviewing all the people, and they were saying like, um, they were saying like, well, he's doing this and he did this and he's such a good person. Um, and it felt dude, if you're such a good person and you're around him and you're seeing his slip ups, steer him somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So I think honestly, I was looking at it like these guys are idiots. Like
At least I know I'm not the only one that
they're
felt that
idiots.
way.
Like, because the old gangsters was, we don't tell. You know what I'm saying? If we did something, you wouldn't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wide open atmosphere. Now you're saying it in songs, you're saying it on interviews, you're saying it, you know what I'm saying, just on Instagram. Like social media is at an all-time high of clout. And you're clowning for the wrong things, because at the end of the day, Young Thug, they said they had like 20 something people in defendants in
Mm-hmm.
this case. They probably maybe got 3 or 4 now, because a lot of them dudes flipped. Like, yo, I'm not built for this life. I Look, he did it. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I said this before, I was like, Young Thug probably felt like he had a lot of loyal dudes around him until they were sitting in front of them people.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Listen, the whole Bobby Shmurda, everybody gives Bobby Shmurda props, and I was one of them, because Bobby Shmurda, he didn't tell. But
Mm-hmm.
he did tell. Y'all, he is the reason why y'all are here. He had the hottest song in the country at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And in that song, he was basically saying, well, this person has a gun, and this person did this, and this person to do this, and this. So he technically did tell. Like, he told. But I think a lot of times people will make it seem like this is the life. And a lot of people do it because this is what people want to hear. So we're gonna do Tekashi 6ix9ine is a prime example.
Mm-hmm.
We can all look at Tekashi 6ix9ine and tell that, yo, this kid is not really about that life. But because this is what the people want to hear, this is what people are buying, this is what the streets are listening to, this is who these record companies are getting behind, I'm gonna do it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna say this. I'm gonna rap like this. I'm gonna act like this. I'm gonna wear this. I'm gonna do this, and there it's gonna catch on until them people get to pulling up. They
Mm-hmm.
have a task force specifically assigned for rap music. Like, I'm from Chicago. The drill culture is very real. These dudes are out here committing crimes and getting on records and speaking on it. But now you don't just have to worry about the police.
Mm-hmm.
The drill culture is this rap. They were doing what Tupac and Biggie were doing, but they do it on an even bigger scale now. They're doing it in every song. They're doing it on social media. They're doing so this is a bigger scale. So now you just don't have to worry about the police. You can't have a regular life now.
Nope.
You can't be out here dissing somebody's dead relatives and then walking around the mall with your girl and kids like ain't nothing finna go on. Like, this is the culture we're in. A lot of people have gotten gunned down at malls, restaurants, stores, things like that, because you're trying to live a normal life after you just there was a guy named Lil Jojo.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Jojo, he was in tour with Lil Durk, all them out there. Now the thing with Lil Jojo is, if he had just kept it, I'ma diss Lil Durk, I'ma be in tour with just Lil Durk. No, Lil Jojo decided, I'ma diss Lil Durk's whole gang. I'ma diss his whole nation. So now you're blowing up. The fans is loving you. The streets is loving you. But then you have a whole gang of people that rep this gang. And they're looking like, nah, you public enemy number one right now. Like, we really want you. Like, this is clout for us. If we get you, and Lil Jojo lost his life, 16 years old, blowing up. blew up, had a big hit record. The hit record was a diss to a nation, to a gang nation. Like, so it's people upset that take that gang stuff to the heart. Like, they will literally die for their gang. Like, you just don't do certain things like that. So when I see Young Thug, it's like Young Thug did all this. He broke all them barriers. He he put his people in position to win. He put his people in position to eat. And then boom, the walls came crashing down.
Mm-hmm.
But then the second part of that documentary, they was talking about the guy from No Limit,
Mm-hmm.
Mac.
Yeah, that just came home. Yeah.
Yeah, he was giving a background of his story, how at one point he was the hottest rapper on that label, and he was.
Mm-hmm.
And he blew up, and then one night he lost everything. See, that's all it takes is a couple of seconds for you to lose all the hard work that you put into. So the whole Max story was very interesting to me because I think he was in there, what, 20, 30
20
years or
years.
something
Yeah.
like that.
About 20 some years. Yeah.
Yeah, like that is your life, dog. That is life you cannot get back. I don't care what these people in jail tell you. Oh man, I can handle it. Jail is cool. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. I can't listen. And Ringo, you're a father. I can't imagine being behind bars, having to see my kids from behind a glass window, or you know what I'm saying, having another dude raise my kids. Because 20 years, if you thinking your woman, any man out there that think 20 years, they woman is waiting 20 years, you're crazy. I'm not telling my woman, look, no, don't even do it, because I know you ain't gonna do it. So don't share me no lies. Don't I just gotta keep his mind right, and no, don't do that, because that's not cool. But I can't imagine being gone 20 years of my life. Like, you got to think about it. People out here, they look back, everybody telling stories about their life, and they come to you and they like, hey man, what you doing? I was locked up. I ain't get a chance to do all this other stuff. I ain't get a chance to see the world. 20 years is a long time trying to catch up with everything, trying to keep track and live a sign with the time. So I just think, man, like, I hope people are looking at this Young Thug situation like, I'm gonna do the complete opposite. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's like people get mad at Gunna, but what do you expect? Like, you can tell and look at some of these dudes that they are putting their money behind. They're not really about their life. They're not gonna hold true to you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just sad, man. And I feel like I kind of feel for Young Thug in a sense, but your name is Young Thug.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy because, like you said, you put all this money trying to bring all your people with you from the hood. And I'll tell anybody that know me and anybody that grew up with me, I've never been in the streets. I ain't even gonna say really, I've never been in the streets. You know what I mean? I was I was the corny dude. For me,
Facts.
high school was for me was sports and girls.
Oh
That's
yeah.
all, that's,
Hell yeah. Hell
that's all
yeah.
I was
And
focused on. The
that
street
be the
dude,
safest place.
y'all
That be
had
the
the streets.
safest place.
Cool.
I'd rather be up under some titties than be locked in a 4x5, 4x10 cell with another sweaty ass dude any day. Like, this is what I don't understand. Like, all these women out here in the world, and we out here shooting and fighting over dumb shit we don't even own. We don't own these blocks.
They don't get it. They're following the wrong lead because a lot of these young boys will look at it and say, you know what? Young Thug made this mistake. So and
Yep.
so made this mistake. I'm not going to do the same thing. But then,
Yep.
again, like you said, you got this big conglomerate behind you. All these dudes that you grew up with, might have played football with, played basketball with. You trying to bring the whole hood with you, knowing damn good and well, like we said about the Ja Morant situation. A lot of them dudes is leeches. They not
Yep.
there for your betterment. They there to get all they can get while they can. And then when shit hit the fan,
Leeching off your lifestyle.
and then you the one doing all the work. A lot of these dudes ain't doing shit. If they not, like I said, they think they too good to do certain things. If you around me, I'm making millions, I bring you along with me, You're gonna carry a bag. You gonna do something
Facts.
to earn your keep. You know what I mean? To earn, because like I said, I'm on you think about it. How many dudes in YSL? They all not rapping. They not
Yep.
all
They all
producing.
not rapping.
I don't need I don't need 20 hype men on the stage with me. I don't. You know what I mean? But like you said, when the wall started coming down on him, he probably sitting in his cell like, damn, I thought so-and-so was loyal. I thought so-and-so had my back.
Yep.
He not the
Hell
first
yeah.
to, you know what I mean, to get stabbed in the back by his people.
Hell
But
yeah. He ain't the first. And I feel like my whole big thing about it too is like you letting everybody know what you do.
mm-hmm.
Now you have a rep. Now, you know, because they said they had one dude in YSL, he had been a snitch for like 11 years.
Yeah, I saw some of his some of his interviews.
So it's like, listen, like you gotta know. I always say this, and I mean, listen, if you have to commit a crime, do it by yourself. Do it by yourself. Because if they pick somebody else up with you, they don't know nothing about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking about this too, and it was like the whole Ti snitching on his dead cousin type situation. I feel like this. If he's dead, like he's dead. Like if I got a chance, if and I'm more, I mean it might sound harsh, but the way Ti was explaining it was his cousin his cousin told him that it was okay that if they ever got into a situation that it was okay for him to use his name to get out of jail. And I get it,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like if I did the crime, I'm gonna do my time, dog.
Mm-hmm.
That's just where I'm at with it. I'm gonna do my I did my crime, I'm gonna do my time. If I get in a car with you and the police say whose gun is this, and I know it's mine, I'm not gonna let my homie take the rap for something that I know he had no knowledge of. You know what I'm saying? I've been in situations where, if somebody knew it was a dangerous situation, I'm not going.
Mm-hmm.
If I know what y'all finna be on, yo, I'm not going, bro. I'm not going. It ain't nothing against you. More power to you. Do your thing. I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? We all have a choice of saying no.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not gonna stop being my homie because you tell me no. So I shouldn't stop being your homie because I say, nah, I'm cool. But peer pressure is a motherfucker. These motherfuckers out here, come on, man, you ain't down for the team, you ain't down for the squad if you don't do this, if you ain't with us, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll be like, that shit don't work with me. I'm a grown ass man. That shit might have worked when I was 15 and I wanted to fit in and be in the crowd. But at the end of the day, I love my freedom too much to ever put myself in a position. If I see one of my homies getting ready to go rob a bank, man, I'm going the other way. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It ain't worth it because you lose years of your life that you can't get back. And my biggest fear was I never wanted to go to jail or nothing because I would hate to ever have to see my kids call another man dead because
Mm-hmm.
he stepped up when I was lacking. He stepped up and handled my business. I'm somewhere locked up for 20 years, and this man is over here building with my family when it should have been me. And then a lot of times we can't blame ourselves because we put ourselves in these situations. Like a lot of these dudes just okay, so they take it for instance with OJ.
Mm-hmm.
OJ got off. He got off. He did something that in the history of black people we had never seen. A black man got off with killing a white woman and a white man, and you know what I'm saying. We celebrated this, even though we knew this man was guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But OJ screwed it up, and he should have had kept a low profile.
Yeah.
He should have already known, like, yo, the first thing that you do, they're still mad that you got to quit it. For me, that would have been enough. Dog, I'm laying low. I'm gonna go find me a woman. I'm gonna go make some kids. I'm gonna get on. I'm going to stay out of the media and the radar. Not OJ. OJ got caught. When he got caught for stealing his own stuff back, right? They slammed him 8 years over stealing his merchandise. They didn't really slam him for the merchandise. They slammed him because they couldn't get him for that murder. Mm-hmm. And then what did he do? He wrote a book talking about If I Did It. Huh?
Oh, OJ might be the first drill rapper.
I was like, what? If I did, OJ, my man's, you won, dog. You got away. Take that win and go on and get tucked under somewhere. But he doing it now, though. Mm-hmm. OJ somewhere, he doing it now. So I think sometimes it hit people sooner than it hit people later than what we thought it should. And like I said, Ja's 25, 26. Maybe this is a wake-up call that he needs, that he now realizes, oh, these people are not playing. Young Thug is another young dude. Mm-hmm. Like, yo, he's looking at life. Like, think about it. Lil Boosie, when they got Lil Boosie, he was thinking he was sitting on life. T.I. was sitting on life when they caught him with all them guns and stuff like that. Like, it's not an attack on rappers. It's just y'all out here saying and doing dumbass shit, and y'all think that y'all are above the law, and they're simply telling y'all, yeah, we're gonna make an example out of y'all. Young Thug, they are definitely gonna make an example out of him. He's not. I don't see a situation, because I read something that he told his sister that he coming home soon. I don't know how you gonna swing that, my boy, unless you just be like, you know what, look, I'm gonna tell y'all what y'all need to know. But all them bodies, all them racketeering, all that drugs, all that stuff, I don't see Young Thug coming home. And I think Young Thug is gonna look back and he's gonna see like, yo, I should have made better decisions with my life. And this is what I be trying to tell people now. Like, you have to make better choices. Don't let nobody drag you into, because the block is gonna go on. Mm-hmm. If you die, you in jail, you think the block gonna stop? You think we gonna stop partying and you think they gonna stop selling drugs and getting women and doing all this stuff because you locked up or because you gone? No. They gonna politic with you once a year. They gonna say RIP to my dog. He was a real one. And then their life gonna go on. That's it. They might throw you a little party for your birthday or your death day or whatever the case is, but at the end of the day, they living and you under the ground or you in jail. I don't want to be everybody trying to be a real nigga. Like, yeah, that's my real nigga. Okay, your real nigga is locked up right now. How real can you possibly be?
And the thing is, too, to kind of drive home that point before we close out, the crazy thing is, too, everybody, you know, one of your people died, whatever the case is, put your face on the t-shirt to memorialize you. Them t-shirts only get a couple of washes before they done. You know what I mean? They put your face on that t-shirt, third, fourth, fifth, sixth wash, whatever the case is.
Yep.
That t-shirt is now ragged, wipe the car down.
Yep.
On in the trash for the dog to sleep on, chew on something. And that's what they really need to think about. And like you said, knock on wood, I thank God for being corny and being into sports and girls growing up. Because like I said, I couldn't imagine, you know, being locked up in my 20s. I couldn't imagine being locked up, period. But you imagine being locked up in your late teens, early 20s. And like I said, you miss your kids growing up. You come out of jail. Yep. Your child 20, 21, whatever the case is, the fuck you gonna tell that child at that point?
And they gotta tell you, well, my daddy wasn't around. Oh, he alive. He just wasn't around. He was locked up, doing shit for shit he ain't had no business doing, taking a rap for other people. Like, there's no amount. And then the homies be like, man, we gonna take care of your family. We gonna take care of you. There's no amount of money you can give me that's gonna make me feel justified of spending, you know what I'm saying, 10 years of my life behind bars. Like, even watching the guys that get wrongfully accused and they did 20 years in jail and they come out and get like 2 million, 3 million, $1 million. That ain't enough, Chief.
Nah, that money don't make up that time. That money didn't
Yeah,
help you
that
that
ain't
time.
enough. And it's like you put a dollar amount as if that's what I'm worth. No, like give me my time back. And it's like you feel for certain things, but the Young Thug situation is just a prime example. And it's gonna be a lot more Young Thugs. It don't stop with him.
Nope,
They
not
gonna pull a lot of these little rap crews and you know things out. They gonna pull them all out. It's just a matter of time. You know, you can sit back and act like you getting away with it, and then you know because everybody got an angle.
mm.
Like a lot of times when the feds come, they already got a case.
Oh yeah.
They just watching you make even more dumb mistakes. Like the feds are not coming unless they really know. Cause I think the Fed clearance rate is like what 95% or something like that. Like they already got the evidence they need. They just sit back and just watch you do even more dumb shit. Like, oh yeah, add this to the list. Add this to the list. We adding this too. Oh, he going down for that. Oh, he got guns. He got this. He got that. So Young Thug had to think like, not only did he learn a valuable lesson, like none of these dudes that I rode for or that I had doing all these things was loyal. Now, you know, it might very well just had costed you your life because when everybody was taking deals.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was taking deals, and then it was like, all right, this should have been a wake up call for him to know that when that pressure hit is a spot. But I think about it like this: if I didn't do shit, but I'm still out here celebrating and living up the good times and the good times, I'm just as guilty as the rest of these dudes because I had no business being there in the first place. You
Nah.
know what I'm saying? That's something I got to get away from that. I don't want no parts of it. So I don't know. This I I
But the,
think a lot of times we can feel sorry for people, but then we got to look at it like they made their own bed.
I mean, 'cause the crazy thing is a lot of these dudes. And this is the part that I really don't get. Again, like I said, we're fathers, so we're fathers and we're older. But the crazy shit is, how do you love your gang, love the streets more than your kids? That's the part that drives me crazy. Is that, like I said, you okay
Facts.
with, like you said, some other man raising your child?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's two bad parts of it. Your child could
Mm-hmm.
either end up dying or your child end
Yep.
up in jail with you.
Yep.
And then,
Yep.
like I said, then you don't want to break down in jail because now you got to keep this wrap up and all this other shit.
Yep.
And it's just like, I mean, like I
Ain't
said,
none ain't nothing worse than having something happen to your kid and you can't do nothing about it because you in jail.
not a goddamn thing. And I got to be a bitch for a lot of dudes. Like I said, and
Yep.
I don't have any girls or anything. I got all boys, but I said it got to be, as a man, you have a daughter, and like you said, something happened to your daughter,
Yep.
and
And you can't do nothing.
you can't do shit but sit in your cell and cry. You sitting
You can
you
make a phone call or whatever the case is, but that get back is like nothing if you're not doing it. Like, and that's the main thing, you know. But the world is so different, man. It's so different when I was a shorty. Like, um, my OGs kept us away from dumb shit.
uh-huh.
Like, take y'all ass to school.
Yeah,
Go read a book or something. The streets ain't for you. Get off this corner. Do this, do that, do this, do that. And this is what a lost art is. Instead of and it, you know what? It be the OGs encouraging this dumbass shit.
but they don't really have OGs now because all the motherfuckers like the same age.
Yeah.
They all the OG might be 30 and motherfucker under him like 25. So
Facts.
ain't no OG. So because I mean that's a very true fact. Because like I said, I played basketball and stuff, and like I said, I was never in the streets, but the older guys that were around, but because of my mother and I played sports, it was just like, nah, he played basketball. don't mess with him, y'all. He good. So that's what I did. I stayed the hell out the way. Because like I said, it was either I'm gonna have to deal with my mother when I get home, or I'm gonna have to deal with the older guys that were around. Just like, what the fuck you doing? You play ball. That's what you go focus on. That's what these kids don't have, like you said now. Everything is, if we doing it, you gotta do it too. Instead of them getting behind it, like, look, if he make it out, he gonna make a way for all of us. Even if you're doing it for the selfish reason, you put that motherfucker up on a pedestal, help him get to whatever level that is, and go from there. But instead, nah, if I'm locked up, we all gotta be locked up. It's a stupid ass mentality. Very
Facts. It's a lot of people with that mentality, man. I swear. So yeah.
But I say, but in closing, like I said, when y'all all hear this episode, if you don't take shit else from nothing we said, say your ass out the streets. Whatever your lane is, if you that corny dude, you in the house,
Facts.
doing your Dungeons and Dragons, you building model cars, you working on computers, you doing all this other shit, you tattooing, you drawing, you doing whatever you doing. Keep your ass out the streets. Ain't shit out there. It's enough. It's enough real dudes in jail.
Yep.
The ones that's really about that life, and the ones that pretend to be about that life to get caught up and really got to be about that life now. So it's enough of them in there. It's enough of us in there. And one thing I mentioned earlier that I'm gonna say now, and then I'll let you have the last word. But I'm gonna say it's a part in that documentary where they brought up Johnny Cash, and they talking about how Johnny Cash talked about killing his wife and all this other shit in the song. I have two answers for that. One, I don't know if Johnny Cash's wife died during the time he was making that music or not, but let's say she didn't. She didn't die. Those are just lyrics in a song. The second thing is, if I already know the deck is stacked against me, why am I gonna try and fight, do dumb shit just to prove I could do it? And then knowing when they come down on me, they're gonna come down on me twice as hard.
Yep. For me, yeah, just be smarter. Be smart. I ain't telling you go out there and commit no crimes, but if you're gonna commit crimes, if you absolutely must have to, do it by yourself. No sense of dragging other people's lives into your shenanigans. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna never tell nobody not to defend their mama, their sister, their kids. Do what you gotta do. But at the end of the day, make sure you're able to live with the consequences behind that, though. Because it's a lot of people just out here doing reckless things just to do them because they feel like they ain't gonna get caught, or they feel like they can't be touched, or they feel like they can get away with it. You know what I'm saying? I had that mentality. As a kid, I felt like, yo, I could do whatever. As a kid, I'm just a kid. I don't know no better. And then as I started getting older, it became, oh, I know better. I'm just gonna test the limits to see how far I can go, see how far I can get away with it. And then now, I remember being locked up, and my son was like 6 months, and my mom brought my son up to the because I was in the county, up to the facility, and they had the little glass screen, and it was hard because watching this kid, 6 months of life, you know what I'm saying? I was fighting a case because I got into it with his mama new boyfriend, and I was fighting the case, and the case ended up getting dismissed. I fought that case for like 6 months. So I got out like 2 weeks before my son's first birthday. And it really, really hurt me that although he's young and he probably ain't gonna remember none of that, I'll remember it. I remember that I wasn't there. I remember seeing him behind that screen. I remember not being able to reach out and touch him. I remember crying to myself because I made these dumb choices and I'm here now. So I say all that to say, man, listen, time is the one thing you cannot get back. Use it wisely. Period.
You know what I'm saying? And on that note, I'll say, Smash, Always good catching up. Like I said, we will do this again.
Yes,
It's
sir.
not, it's
All
not
the
a
time.
one-off. Not a, it took us a while to get here. We got here when the time and everything was right. And
Facts.
like I said, we definitely gonna link up again, do some more stuff because, like I said, it's it's just getting the ball rolling again. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
we got some more stuff. So, but before we go too, let the people know where, when the show drop, how they can find you, all that good stuff.
All right, so Bet the House podcast on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, everywhere. It's Bet the House Podcast. You can go to the website, alwaysbetthehouse.com. That's where everything is, all the links, all the merch, everything is there. Um, we are we're back to doing my debates. I have debates every week with different podcasters. I put different matchups and things together. And it's a real vibe. You can catch those on Instagram. Um, and then my new episodes drop every Friday. So you can catch them, like I said, always betthehouse.com.
Yeah, so I mean, same here. I'm working my way back into it. I got some more stuff coming down the pipe real soon. Just stay tuned for that. Some new, podcast collaborations and stuff like that. Um, I don't have a set date on when my episodes drop. I come through sporadically, but I do have 70 70 some odd episodes. So, if you ever feel in the need, you want to see what I'm really about after you listen to this episode, please drop in, go back, listen to the episodes. And if you
Facts.
some shit you don't like in there, please DM me, let me know. I welcome
Facts.
the feedback. That's the only way I'm gonna get better. For me, Instagram, we need to talk 23. The thing is .pod. TikTok, same thing. You want to email me, want to be a guest on the show, we need to talk 23pod@gmail.com. And like I said, I'm open to anybody coming on the show and having a good time. As you can see, like I said, it's a real cool, laid back vibe. We get in here, we're gonna chop it up and make it do what it do.
Yes,
So yeah,
sir.
Smash, always a pleasure. And like I said, we're gonna do this again real soon. Uh,
Absolutely.
this is Bet the House podcast, and we need to talk 23 podcast, and we signing off.
All right, my guy.
All right.